The United Kingdom faces its worst riots in over 13 years as native Brits begin to feel anti-immigrant sentiments after 3 young girls were brutally murdered in the north. We're unpacking the story and so much more here on Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. This segment is sponsored by My Patriot Supply, providing emergency meal kits at preparewithbnn.com. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Let's start the show. Well, everybody knows that the West continues to import millions upon millions of non-Westerners. In traditionally white countries, as we've seen crime spike, our housing markets get out of control and our money inflate. They say that diversity is our greatest strength, but our societies crumble as diversity continues. That's why after 3 girls were brutally murdered in the United Kingdom, riots broke out, which the media is now blaming on the far right. But many are asking, why don't you blame the immigrants and the increase in crime around the countries? Well, UK riots, almost 400 have already been arrested over violent disorder, as Starmer puts standing army of police on alert. 378 people have been arrested after a far-right riot. They're calling it far-right, but it's really just angry Brits. Rocked Liverpool, Bristol, Manchester, Hull, Belfast, Stoke, and other cities across the UK this weekend. It goes on to explain that almost 400 people directly there have been arrested after these violence swept across the country, with the Prime Minister setting up a standing army of specialist police officers to deal with further attacks. Sir Keir Starmer has held an emergency Cobra meeting after far-right mobs carried out racist attacks and set fire to hotels housing asylum seekers in Rotterdam and Tamworth. Now, the interesting coordination here across the media is rather than saying, hey, the United Kingdom, particularly London and a lot of these cities, have a problem with immigrant crime, and native Brits are mad. What they do is they just blame it on the native Brits because people are taught and trained to hate white people. And then they say that the violence is the problem of the far right, making it seem like it's a fringe radical idea to not want your kids brutally murdered, to not want your women kidnapped and raped on the streets, and to not want to fear about knife attacks with your family while you're walking around. Even Elon Musk said, well, these kinds of riots are inevitable as white people in their own homelands are being replaced and they continue to face, terrible, terrible living conditions all against their will, as majority of Brits and white Westerners in Western nations are highly against this new form of militarized immigration as they just import the third world into our countries and leave our borders open. This is sort of a global cabal initiative to destroy our countries. Now, this demonization of people is so interesting. As one user pointed out, why don't we look at the difference between those the 2020 riots for BLM and then the riots today against immigration crime or immigrant crime, and you can see the difference of how the prime ministers or how the government responds to the different riots, and you'll see the bias here. Watch.
Participated in this violence,
killing of George Floyd,
will face the full
and the
force
response
of the law.
President Trump,
the police
the US
will be making arrests.
To the peaceful
individuals will be
to
held
people
on
rightly
remand.
demanding justice.
Charges will follow,
has been an affront to
and
humanity.
convictions will
The last
follow.
week has shone a spotlight.
I guarantee
on the racism
you will regret taking part in this disorder,
and injustice
whether directly
experienced
or those
by
whipping
from
up this
black and
action
minority ethnic
online
communities
and then
in the
run
US,
away themselves.
in the UK.
Well, no surprise there. The same prime minister today, who's a lovely individual, who's not even married to a Brit, she's not like ethnically British, somehow will protect all of the individuals who are in the country, both legally and illegally, who don't share British values. But when it comes to, literally killing dozens of people in the United States, around the world, billions of dollars of damage, including issues in London itself, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And we see this two-tiered justice and standard that continues to permeate, where if you're right-wing, you're always far right, and any action that you bring gets the full force of the law, full conviction, full judgment. And that's because there is a universal international conspiracy. I wouldn't even like using the word conspiracy to change our global order into a unified technocratic socialist empire. And, the thing is that if you live in one of these, traditionally white Western nations and you don't like what's going on in your countries, you're going to be punished while they let out rapists and murderers and individuals for the most minute of crimes. Now, the interesting thing about this is it's not just in that position, but you ask, well, how did we get here? How did we get here? Instead of actually figuring out the solution to the problem, they're continuing right now to arrest individuals for supporting the riots online or supporting the actions of individuals who, yes, some of it has been very illegal and they've burned down hotels and, caused significant damage. And I'm not saying I support any type of civil unrest to that extent. But what I am trying to say here is that it's a double standard, that if you do it for one issue and the other, you can riot for left-wing causes, but not for right-wing causes. Before we talk about that, I want to remind you that social unrest, like with the market collapse today, is inevitable. That's why patriots around the country are preparing right now with My Patriot Supply emergency meal kits. Guys, you know that you have to have guns. You know that you have to have body armor, gas masks. But have you thought about what you're going to eat when there's no food in the grocery stores? Well, tons and thousands of Americans have. That's why they're buying up the 1 week meal kits. They have over 2,000 calories. They last 25 years stored in a rugged ammo can, and they're nutritious, delicious, and they actually fill you up and have food variety so you won't get bored amidst the apocalypse. Make sure that you grab these kits $50 off today with my code preparewithvnn.com. Just go to your browser, type in PREPAREWITH, VNN.com today, and pick up these 1 week meal kits. They are amazing, and you're not going to want to miss out. As I mentioned, though, things can get bad, and look what they're doing in the United Kingdom. Instead of addressing the issue, they are arresting people simply for saying their mind online. I'm sorry, sir, but I think you thought too freely.
Okay, so
What do you mean I can't have any alcohol?
okay, well, I'll tell you. Okay, the time's 20 to 3, 14:40. I'm arresting you on suspicion of improper use of the electronic communications network under
What?
127 of the Communications Act. Okay, so you do not have to say anything that may harm your defence if you don't mention one question, something which you later are in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
So I'm actually being
You're going
arrested,
to be arrested, okay?
right?
Take you
And
back to the police station.
right,
Ask you, okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page. Okay?
oh really? Oh, it's a Facebook crime, is it?
Okay.
Right,
So we need to ask you some questions about that.
right.
Have you got anything in your pockets, Thomas?
I've got my keys. I got. No, that's about it. I think keys.
So, anyone who's been arrested, we can search them under Section 32 of the Police and Evidence Act.
Right.
And that's for dangerous items.
Hey,
Evidence.
I mean, you said I was going to be arrested under some what information? But I'm going to be
We've had
arrested for
reports that
posting on
you've made
Facebook.
some comments that are offensive, obscene, and people have made a complaint about that, and it's
And can you tell me what this comment was?
Would you
Okay, well, we'll do that when we interview.
All right. And so,
Okay.
what am I going to be locked up for the night, or
Hopefully
Well,
not.
hopefully not.
right? Do I need to
Unless
take
you
my
film
medications
us.
with me?
How,
Yes, we will look at taking all of that.
All right, so, rather than finding a solution to this, they're just arresting people, and you wonder why the United Kingdom and the rest of Europe is so problematic. Well, now you know why. Well, the thing about this violence is it doesn't seem like it's going to be going anywhere, and they're blaming Tommy Robinson for it. We'll find out more of what's happening probably as we go through the week. But if you want to keep up with these riots and understand what's going on, reminding you that these are very dangerous, so travel warning to Americans going to the United Kingdom anytime in the next few weeks. My name is Elijah Schaefer. Thank you for watching Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. Don't forget, if you want to get these videos direct to your inbox, subscribe to our newsletter at vigilantnews.com, or you can get these videos directly for free every day by subscribing to our Rumble and our X account. We are at Vigilant News. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.